My name is Michael Graham. I'm a professional wedding photographer in Los Angeles and Palm Springs, and we're talking about how to photograph a wedding. So things that I would definitely look into is the details. When you arrive at the bridal suite, some of the items that you want to look at are the jewelry and if the flowers are there, take photos of the flowers, photos of the dress. I normally would try and find some sort of a striking location or striking background to put the dress on. Photos of the shoes, and you can be a little bit more creative with this stuff. I think one of the more interesting things to do is to try and find angles that are a little bit more interesting to take photos. For example, I like taking shots of the stilettos of the shoes, and maybe taking some of the jewelry and having them next to the shoes or on the shoes. Other items that I would look into are that are very important are the interactions in the bridal room. The shots of the bride getting dressed. I specifically love the shot of the zipper on the back of the dress as it's being closed. Another classic shot is the groom and the groomsmen. There's a couple of things that I like to do when the groom is getting ready. One of the shots I like to do is the shot of the cufflinks on the groom's hand with a little close-up macro lens on the groom hands. I like to do the shots of the lapel of the groom and the boutonniere, and maybe even cut off the groom's half of his face. It actually looks kind of pretty cool when you just do those shots. Those shots tend to come in black and white later on in the processing part. In terms of the ceremony, I think the key moment of the ceremony is the moment when the bride is entering the ceremony area, especially a close-up on the face of the groom as he's looking at the bride. One of the key things I try to do is actually be able to squeeze behind the bride's shoulder as she's walking towards the groom and capture the side of her head with the focus on the groom looking at the bride. That's a key moment for me for the wedding. Other key elements of the ceremony would be when the bride and groom are leaving. The happiest moment of the day happens right after the pronouncement of the bride and groom that they can kiss and that they're married. That's the genuine moment of that entire wedding. So as a professional wedding photographer, you have to capture the joy of the bride and groom at that moment. And I prefer using a telephoto lens at that point to do a real close-up of the bride and groom. The way I work with my cameras, I normally have 2 cameras on me plus a third camera and an assistant. And each camera would have a different lens. So I would have, say, a telephoto 70 to 200 lens on one camera, and then a second camera would have a wide angle on that, and a third camera might have a middle range like 24 to 70. So I always have all my gear available. Again, it's something that a professional photographer would do. Changing lenses as the couple is walking out of the ceremony area, you can't really do that. But having an assistant next door to just give you the camera that you need with the lens that you need, you can just immediately keep on shooting. That's how you get all these different kind of type of lenses, coverage for the bride and groom. My name is Michael Graham, and we've been talking about how to photograph a wedding.